Well, folks, here we again for the weekly forecast. During this last week, we had one major precipitation event that occurred during the Monday time frame and hit a portion of the state that has been significantly lacking in precipitation. That is south central into portions of central Nebraska. Totals that we received so far, generally in the quarter-inch to three-quarter-inch range. There was a few isolated areas that did receive over an inch of moisture. First real significant rainfall event for a good portion of this area since really the early part of October. So this is an area where the drought has been upgraded to moderate to severe drought conditions, depending on where you are within that area. This won't go anywhere toward removing those drought areas, but at least it's a hopeful sign that potentially more moisture could be beneficial to this area. And in fact, as we go through this next 7-day period, we are looking toward the end of next week as the first chance for widespread precipitation events once again for the Central Plains and potentially bringing some snowfall to portions of Nebraska. So as we get to the upper air forecast, the thing I'll draw your attention to is that we have this trough and the ridge in place, so very warm conditions, nothing in the way of precipitation expected, and we'll start to see this trough in the western United States start to make inroads. So as we see this trough make inroads, we'll still see a ridge coming down and bringing a northwest flow for Sunday, so it might be a slight cool down, but as this trough begins to get closer in on Monday, we'll start to see this ridge expanding toward the east, bringing in warmer conditions ahead of this front, and the moisture gets shunted up over top of the ridge. So it's not going to have a major impact on Nebraska on Tuesday. By the time we get to Wednesday, it's starting to show signs of getting this energy moving out into the plains, and we'll start to see low pressure move up into the Dakotas as this trough passes to our east on Thursday. Models may have this a little bit fast, but if this is the case, we'll see a deep trough in the eastern United States and a sharp ridge by the end of next weekend. I think we might be a day or two quick on this system, and the slower the system moves, the more precipitation is likely to be generated from it. In terms of precipitation, you'll see that pretty much during this entire period, the center part of the country is basically void of precipitation as we watch this system slowly migrate its way into the Pacific Northwest and then rapidly shoots a piece of energy out into the central Rockies. So as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, we start to see this precipitation breaking out and then rapidly ejecting out into the central plains. This is an inherent problem with the GFS model. It moves systems too fast out of a deep trough of the west, and you'll see that there is some accumulating snowfall in the store as we get into Friday, according to the models, up in the Dakotas. Earlier runs had brought this snowfall into central Nebraska. I suspect we'll see a lot of changes in this during this next 7-day period, so be aware that there is a system that looks like it has the potential to generate some significant snowfall portions of either the central or northern plains, and that we'll likely see rapid changes as we move through the next week, so pay attention to the most latest updates. Now, in terms of temperatures from next Thursday to the following Tuesday, I think this is a blown forecast. I believe we're going to see much colder air into the center part of the country with the warmer air to our east, and in terms of precipitation, I won't disagree with this precipitation forecast. I think it's right on the nose, and I think most of the central and northern plains are going to see an aggressive precipitation pattern as we move into next weekend.